Welcome to Real Talk, episode 151. I'm Todd. This is AJ, and we're back.
Boo-doo. We got a show for you.
So, you heard him. We got a show for you. What's Real Talk? Try to do it in 30 seconds. Real Talk's an opportunity, a platform, a show in which we talk about life, God, the Bible, and everything in between. We're just a bunch of guys that love Jesus and love talking to you and to each other sometimes. So, somewhere in the description of this video or podcast, you will see a link. It's www.theremnant.life/real-talk. The real in that is REAL, real-talk. Click the link all the way down to submit a question. There's a button that will say that. Click it. It's going to pull up a form-fillable box. Tippity-tap your questions, comments, concerns, article, links, whatever you want that you'd love to have discussed, and we will discuss and answer them.
Boom.
A lot of times people have questions about the Bible. They don't have anyone to ask, or they feel uncomfortable asking it. Well, this is the opportunity to do that.
This is the platform.
I forgot to mention that database that you send that question is completely anonymous, and I feel like people don't believe us in this.
Dude,
but
really
we cannot find you even if we try.
It's true, man.
Because we have tried. So, that's the end of it.
Searched long and hard.
Because some people are mean.
That's right.
Anyway, so that's the gist of it. I did that pretty quick today.
How
you guys doing today?
Well done. I'm doing okay. I was a little sad earlier, but don't know why. But I'm good now.
I gave you a half of 5 hour energy. That really seemed to spark you.
It's true, man. Gave me a little buck up for my day.
Reminds me of Freddie Buck.
Hey, oh man, the glory days.
Good quarterback on Madden. Anyway,
Oh, yeah.
What do you got?
Well, yeah, you could say I'm doing all right.
Matthew McConaughey.
Don't make me.
Supposedly his book he wrote called Green Lights, that's like an autobiography. I don't know if you guys heard this. This is serious real quick. It just came out like last year. It's considered like a great book for men to read. Like his life and the things he's learned. It's called Green Lights, yeah. I haven't checked it out yet.
Heck yeah, dude.
You know what? We'll try to get Matthew on here.
Interview him on his book.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Hey, Matthew, you want to come down to old Indiana?
All it takes, yeah. You can do it virtually. We have the technology. Anyway, Funtern. All right.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Had some realizations last night. Hoping that they stay. As I said last night, I think the realizations of motivation and things like that tend to be tested not in the moment that you realize them, but later when adversity comes and when things come like that. So I'm just hoping that I can stay in this place of not only just like confidence, as much confidence as I can have at this moment, and motivation, so I can keep moving forward.
Yeah, man.
Got some
It's
wild
awesome.
plans.
Ooh, wild plans, huh? Not just plans, they're wild.
Wild boy.
Let's go.
I don't know if you listen to that song. Anyway. Good. That's good, man. Well, guys, I hope you're doing well out there. Feel free to drop a comment and let us know. That's it. Last week was our 150th episode celebration extravaganza.
Right, it was fun.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, I had an okay time. And
The chicken
was average.
the chicken was good. Yeah, I'm pretty hungry actually. So
Too.
I have it here on our fancy show notes. Any news in your life, man? How things going?
The newest one was my inability to put in numbers into a treadmill.
Yeah.
So last night, you started doing a thing where you were burning like 500 calories a day just walking on a treadmill.
Yeah, so I walk on a treadmill every day until I burn 500 calories on top of my normal workouts.
That's right.
Try to lose some extra weight here.
And so, the guys, we all went to the gym last night, and we had done. You started on the treadmill first.
Correct.
And then we did
The weights.
Yeah, we did the weights first.
And then we flip-flopped.
That's right.
Weights.
So then I decided to do the 500 calorie walk. Well, little to my knowledge, did I know that you're supposed to put in your weight and your age into a treadmill so it knows how much calories you're burning based on those numbers. So, Todd was like, hey, it only takes like 45 minutes to burn 500 calories when you're walking.
Yep, somewhere in there.
So I was like, okay. So, I'm over an hour in.
At this point, I want to make it clear, I had completely finished my chest and back workouts, my longest workout. I had actually burned another 546, I remember exactly, through my workout, and he's still walking.
I've been there, and I'm telling you, man, my legs are hurting. Like, I mean, I was on a steady pace for over an hour.
So I come up and I see Cowboy Kenny.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, he hasn't burned 500 calories yet? He goes, oh, no, man. He said the machine shut off. I literally, I wish you guys,
Yeah.
in my mind, I'm going, what is he talking about? Why would the machine shut off? I thought he bumped it. So, and then in my mind, I'm going, I still don't understand how this would take so long.
Yeah.
And so eventually you turn around and I ask you, hey, man, you know, how many have you burned? And he said, oh, I burned over an hour and it shut off, so I had to restart. And I was like, how many did you burn in that hour? And he said, 400. And I said, how are you walking really slowly? Like,
Right? No.
and
Same pace.
so I asked you, I said, did you put your weight in?
No, I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah. Now, the part of the story that I just mentioned that I think is so interesting, how do you think treadmills know? Because, well, before I say this, your theory was, the reason you kept walking, is that my body meaning you thought in your head, my body just doesn't burn as many calories as Todd's.
Apparently, I was
Right?
like, my body somehow just isn't working as hard or something. I don't know what's happening.
How did you think that the treadmill knew you weren't working as hard?
I have no idea.
But somehow in your mind, this treadmill is omniscient, omnipotent. It could read your body.
Listen, apparently,
So sorry.
that's what my mind thought. I thought it was just magical.
It had to have been what you thought. Treadmill's telling me I'm not working hard enough.
I was just thinking through my head as I was walking. I surpassed the 45-minute mark, and I was going, man, you know, I guess I'm just going.
Man, he was booking it. Todd was,
That was what I said. Maybe because he walks backwards sometimes. I was thinking maybe that burns more calories, you know?
did you try that?
No, man, I can't. You know I can't function on a treadmill like that.
Oh.
I can hardly walk on one.
That's so funny.
So,
dude, I just spit on
if you
myself.
would have
Look
looked
at
at me
that.
even
That's
then,
embarrassing.
even though I was walking at like a 3.5 to
Spit stain on my
3.8,
shirt. Man. I drool on my own shirt. That's embarrassing. Anyway.
even though I was only going at like a speed of like 3.5, and I think
weird.
eventually I went to 3.8.
Yeah.
Like there was times where I would like almost step off the treadmill just because I like wasn't like paying attention enough. So like trying to turn around that bad boy and go backwards was not in the realm of possibility for me, at least now.
So anyway, boy, right as I'm mocking you for your embarrassment, I drool on myself. Somebody comes in the middle of the show, they're going to see a drool stump. Anyway.
So yeah, I think somehow my mind had told me that maybe you walking backwards helped you burn more calories.
But how did it know?
I don't know, man. It's just a
Magic treadmill.
apparently it's just I don't know, man.
It's a funny story.
Now treadmills, that's one thing, man. I don't really know a whole lot about treadmills, so like I was like, oh, maybe it just.
But you still.
AJ's been played a lot.
But
of
how
D&D.
would the treadmill know?
I don't know. Maybe a weight sensor. I don't know.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I have
At
no
least
idea.
somewhat. But we're not that abnormally because let
Especially-
everybody understand the treadmill was essentially because it goes by the baseline weight was believing you were a 170-pound man,
That's so crazy.
right?
No, I had never done a long,
By the way-
like drawn out like exercise on it because like anytime I've ever
do
used
the
one, it's just to do
intervals.
the intervals to
Yeah.
run, and so that doesn't take super long. So she's like, oh, there's the calories I burned. Now,
12 minutes. Yeah.
now would you also put in that stuff for that too?
Sure.
Oh, see, I never did that.
You
either.
don't. Those, it's not as big a deal because you're not aiming for a calorie thing. You're aiming for the number that you're going to run.
that
You know
makes
what I
sense.
mean?
But for
I
this
still do
one-
it. But this one, I mean, you're trying to specifically with the goal
It's
of burning.
4 calories.
Right?
Yeah.
Dude,
Oh, man.
Unrelated note, you've lost a lot of weight just from drinking water.
I have, man. I have. I think I've lost like 8 pounds.
Yeah, man. And in an abnormally quick amount of time,
I
which is
know.
what's concerning.
It's so weird.
Right? I mean, we're talking 2 to 3 weeks, I think.
AJ's been holding in so much water because of his preservatives intake.
It's fair.
That's right, man. Body's been just constantly holding on to everything. Now it's just washing it all away.
I'll tell you what. Excuse me. I'm so sorry for yawning. Talking about your weight loss. Mm-hmm. I have... People make fun of me for carrying this jug, maybe. Mm-hmm. Okay? But I'm not kidding you. It reminds me of drinking enough water. Drinking water's changed my life.
Yeah, man.
You hear people say that you're probably like probably carrying extra water, right? When you don't,
Right.
Because apparently the science of it, supposedly, you don't drink a lot of water, your body holds on to the water it has.
That's what I've heard myself.
I feel so much better drinking water, like regularly, like a lot of water. You know, I thought I'd drink water regularly because you guys know I don't drink a lot of pop-up, energy
Right.
drink, but I wasn't drinking throughout the day.
Me
I
either.
would just drink after exercise, pretty much. I'm so sorry.
But these, I mean, you get a whole gallon every day
Yeah, man.
if you follow the guidelines, which is
I think there's some
every 2
encouragement on the
hours.
side.
That's right.
Good morning. I'm at Keep Chugging.
Hey, man. Heck yeah. Now, here's the one that's... I have to... Mine's sitting over there.
Yeah.
But
Wanna go get
I
it?
have to... Huh?
You can go get it.
No. I know. Go ahead.
Now...
Go ahead, man.
Mine is also at Keep Chugging.
Why it's so weird that we both at Keep Chugging.
Now, for me, though, the challenge for me is...
Filling it?
Because
Same
I
here.
can naturally want to refill it, but I shouldn't.
Oh, I'm opposite. I never fill it fully, so I have to do it like twice a day.
I try to actually like fill it up and then drink it until it's gone.
That's the way you should do it. That's the
right.
point of it. I just don't do it because I'm impatient. So I
And
do
I'm
it
the
twice.
opposite of both of them. I just don't drink
So
water.
I
I'm
think
telling you, dude, it's a life-changing thing. I
I
go
was
to the
pretty-
restroom regularly.
Oh yeah,
Like all
I
of
was
it.
pretty gung ho. I think I've kind of slid back a little bit on it, but I'm still drinking a lot of water.
Yeah, I mean, you're still drinking more than you were for sure.
Oh, easely. Yeah, because I mean,
Which was
for a minute there, I was getting a gallon in like halfway through the day, which is probably not healthy.
Yeah, it was.
No.
yeah.
He was
Yeah.
not following what it said.
I had replaced my fingernail chewing with drinking water.
Which? How's your fingers doing?
They're
They
still
look
not
healthier?
great.
No, they're
I mean,
gross looking.
yeah.
Gotta start drinking water again, man.
Less water drinking, more finger biting. Now I gotta up it again. Listen, man, you gotta choose something unhealthy,
Water's probably the play.
right?
It's less unhealthy.
It's like less unhealthy.
It's the lesser of two evils.
Funtern, how you doing, man?
Like I said before, because I kind of skipped into this, just been having a lot of. Last night we've been talking a lot about motivation and like caring and doing like this, and I haven't been in the best place for caring or wanting to do anything for me, and that's typically been my whole life.
Sorry, that watermark dried up really fast. Go on.
Awesome.
But I don't typically do things for me, or if I do, it's out of like a selfish motive, out of a justification or things
Yeah.
like that. And I kind of actually like. Todd's been talking about a few things and things like that, and I don't tend to think about things unless I'm on a delay. Not because I believe I'm stupid, but because ADD takes a while to kick in, and it goes, you want to know what? You know all that knowledge you've been given over the last like month. Okay, now we're gonna start understanding it. We're on like a 20-day business wait. My brain is always on that. So
20-day shipping.
exactly, that's exactly what it is. So last night I was sitting in our cafe that's not a cafe, and I was thinking about things, and I actually had this moment where I was like, okay, Clint, like you need to start doing things, not in a selfish way for you, but you need to start proving things to yourself and proving things to people, whether they believe you're going to do it or not. It doesn't matter what they think, you need to do it. And like this idea of like, truthfully, at the end of the day, the only people that care about you are the people that are by your side and that aren't going to stop you. For one, and then two, at the end of the day, even they may turn on you. The key to it is you don't care necessarily that they turn on you and they do that. And Jordan Peterson talks about this, and Todd's talked about this a lot. But Jordan Peterson says, if you go do something crazy, if you go chase your dream, go do those things, and people stand in your path, you now quickly have figured out who your friends aren't. And I think it finally sunk in about the position that I am in Remnant House and then things like this, where the people that I'm around aren't standing in my path. In fact, they're saying move, and I have had this fear to move because what if I fail? And then looking at motivational clips and things like that, because I don't take one motivational thing, I take like 30, and I go, frick, I got to move.
Yeah.
There is this moment of like, it doesn't matter if you fail, because if you fail, you're just learning. It's time to start moving. And it's almost like a lot of what Todd's been teaching me and things like that is it's finally starting to sink in. And again, right now I'm in a great place. A lot of this is going to be test when the friction comes and things like that. We've talked about that a lot. And when that comes, we'll see how motivated I still am. And a lot of when that happens is when I tend to shut down, and that's not okay, and that's not going to be good for my future wife. If I get married, which that's a whole other thing I'm wrestling with now, which is an interesting thing because I was always the guy that's like, man, I want a wife, and now I'm kind of like, I'm over there in the corner going, which we've talked to the guys about things like that, and definitely moving through that. I have some stuff where I am very much so not a guy that loves the 9 to 5. I don't like it. It comes a little bit from my lazy lifestyle and like me wanting to be lazy, but genuinely at the end of the day, I want to make as much money as I possibly can and then be able to use that money for crazy things. And I'm not actually selfish with my money. In fact, it's a problem. I will give it away
He's a
I
very generous
literally
guy with his money.
Oh yeah.
I will give away everything. So I'm the guy that I've kind of come to this realization. I would like to make a lot of money and then be able to do the things I want to do. Yeah. And looking at business opportunities, ideas that even Todd's brought up that I even told the guys, I'm like, I really like this idea and I think it would explode. And just actually going, you want to know what, Clint? You need to start moving. Whether you have a ton of money or whether you don't, not every entrepreneur did not start off, or every crazy person who made something or did something in their life didn't start off in a crazy way. You're waiting for the perfect circumstances to go do this, and that's not going to work. You're never going to be perfect. You're never going to be ready. You're never going to be able to do all these things. And it's like almost literally months of Todd talking to me is like everything, all these lessons are catching up to me like 3 months later and me going, oh, that makes sense. And everything's kind of coming together, which I hate that I am on such a delay because it makes my life so much harder. So I'm trying to get very motivated and keep moving even when I'm not motivated and even when I'm afraid. Which has been very interesting because I'm not a guy for conflict. I'm not a guy for stepping out of the boat because I don't trust that it's going to go well for me. I'm very much so a pessimist. So I hope that makes sense. It's been a lot of that. So I'm in this weird like upturn, but it's almost like I've been in the valley and I have this realization in the valley that kind of went up on this hill and I know I'm about to go back down. And it's in this place of like, okay, Clint, you got to stay the same. You have to realize that, okay, you got to keep journaling. You got to keep praying. You got to keep reading. You got to keep doing all these things because they do change you. Even when you don't want to, even when you're ashamed of your actions, you have to keep doing these things because that's the only way you remember who you are. It's not about... A really good thing that Todd said is like, no matter if you mess up on anything and anything like this, I'm going to try and live in the idea of, because I'm ADD, I live my life very 0 to 60.
Yeah.
It's actually a problem with it. It's actually a mental thing. We live our lives 0 to 60. We get very zoned out. We aren't very interested in things. And it's not even because we don't love you or we don't care about you or anything like that. It's just how we live our lives. So learning how to actually balance that now, and it's almost living that 24 hours. Like I'm starting to write things in my arms to remind myself in the moments because I'm very insecure. And I need to remember like, okay, you're not on a witness stand. You need to be strong here. What would a king do? All these things and like these things that actually motivate me and like remind me. And then I actually remembered a poem I wrote in high school that was really interesting. And it was like, write about what you think life is. And I've added to this and I quoted it in Lionheart when I was in it, but I said, life is like a boxing ring. You're going to go up again. You're in the boxing ring. The bell's going to ring and you're going to walk forward. Life's going to be in the other corner. You're going to fight life. You're going to throw your right. You're going to throw your left. You're going to think you're winning, and you're going to be winning for a little bit. But then life's going to hit you with that right, that left, that uppercut. He's going to jab you a few times, and you're going to be on your back. You're going to get back up, and then if you don't know Jesus, you're going to be alone in that corner. You don't have a coach. You have people that you think are on your side, but guess what? They're just the crowd yelling at you. They don't really care about you. They don't really know you. Which now this poem has become a full-blown analogy. Because I'm a writer deep down. They're going to be against you. They're not really for you. You may have people that are kind of a little bit farther from the crowd and they're just kind of in your corner. But 9 times out of 10, if you don't know Jesus, you have nobody in that corner. The difference between knowing Jesus and not knowing Jesus in this analogy is that he's in your corner and he's like, hey, get up. I told you. I already taught you how to do this. We've already won. Get up. Go look life in the eyes. What did I tell you? Hit him with that right. Hit him with that left. Get that uppercut. You know what you're going to do. If he's getting close to you, get back. Jab him a few times. Remind him who you are. Stand up. Yes, it's going to be scary, but we can beat this. And then you stand up and you go back in there and you fight and you go down. And you're not always going to win. It's not always going to feel like you're winning the battle. But you're going to, at the end of this fight, at the end of the 12 rounds, at the end of each round of your life, you're going to, at the end, you're still ahead on the scorecard. If you know anything about boxing, this will make sense. If you know nothing about boxing, this makes no sense to you at all. But you'll always be ahead on that scorecard. And at the end, even if it's by decision, which it always is by decision, you win. You win. You're going to win. This is the greatest fight of life. Life is the greatest fight you'll ever have. So fight it like you're fighting it every day. I think I forgot that you need to fight it every single day. And when I remember that poem, it started to spark all these things. I nearly cried because I was like, gosh dang it, like Todd's been trying to tell me this. And I not that I knew what I was writing about when I was young at all, because I was just like, this is cool. Like, funny, that's how I even did my verse that is like my memory verse, my anchor verse. because I was like, oh, this is a cool one. Everybody knows this one. And then it became actually a part of my life. This moment of like, I forgot that. I forgot that we're supposed to fight. I forgot that Jesus said this wasn't going to be easy. This is going to be hard, but it's going to be better. I can promise you that. So I don't know if this has made sense, and I've definitely rambled a lot, but that's pretty much where I'm at. And like, I'm trying to hold on to that. And I don't know if holding on to that will make me lose it, but I'm also not trying to just hold on to it like in my hands. I'm trying to live it. So it becomes me instead of just allowing it to. Because I think a lot of times people are like, I'm holding on to this thing. I'm gonna keep this like a basketball. But a basketball can be stolen from you. If you make that who you are, and you make that how you live, and you make that how you do it, like a lot of this is also feels like I'm like a self-help guy. It's kind of like in my mind right now. But if you make that who you are, it's not a basketball anymore. You can't steal it. So it's also knowing your worth and knowing your identity and knowing who you are in Jesus, and then like moving through that, which is something I struggle with. I have a lot of identity issues and things like that. So I don't know if that makes sense or what you guys got for that. I definitely rambled a ton.
No, man, I think it's pretty transparent. So
I agree.
it's a good point. I think it's pretty wise to say, hey, I see it. Well, the proof's in the pudding, and what's going to happen. We talked last year about that idea and concept of resistance. You call it friction, same thing. It's that moment when, okay, now I actually have to do something.
That's right.
So I think that, that's where the challenge is going to be. And I think that's where the difference between those who succeed and those who don't is, what do you do in the moments when it's difficult?
The defining moments, man.
I think
It's good stuff.
Another thing that will help me at least, I think in that moment, is also realize I can ask questions instead of trying to go it alone and be like, okay, I'm going to survive this, but I don't know how to do anything. So, like, or the things that like I know about, I've learned like from fictional books, and like they're absolutely useless skills. Like, oh, this is how you bend a bow to string it.
Hey, man.
But in the modern culture, you have no need to string a bow ever, unless you're hunting.
You never know. All right. Well, I appreciate that, man. I think there's a lot of stuff there for a lot of people.
Agreed.
I hope that people listened and heard that, and you were
good
really
stuff, man.
transparent. So, all right. Hey, let's get going. We got some questions here.
We got some questions.
Number one. In Genesis chapter 4, verses 13 through 17, it talks about how Cain is being punished by God for killing Abel. It states, let anyone find him not attack him. Okay. We'll try that again. In Genesis 4, 13 through 17, it talks about how Cain is being punished by God for killing Abel. It states, let anyone find him not attack him. And we went east of Eden. But I thought Eve and Adam had two sons, Cain and Abel. Who are these other people they're talking about? Did they come from Adam and Eve and just not mentioned in the Bible?
So, this is one. Now, we had a funny little joke pre-show because usually we'll start with Todd with the biblical questions because, me, I'm not always the most confident in the Bible, but I want to go there and actually, I should have had this prepared ahead of time, but it's 13 through 17. So it says, but Cain answered the Lord, my punishment is too great to bear. Since you're banishing me today from the face of the earth, and I must hide from your presence and become a restless wanderer on the earth, whoever finds me will kill me. Then the Lord replied to him, in that case, whoever kills Cain will suffer vengeance 7 times over. And he placed a mark on Cain so that whoever found him would not kill him. Then Cain went out from the Lord's presence and lived in the land of Nod, east of Eden. And then they included 17, which is the line of Cain. So they went to the next section. It says, Cain was intimate with his wife, and she conceived and gave birth to Enoch. Then Cain became the builder of a city, and he named the city Enoch after his son. Now, when they're talking about the other people, I mean, I'd imagine there's still people populated. You know what I'm saying? Like,
From where? I think that's their question. Where did they come from?
Because didn't Adam and Eve have other
Yeah.
children?
I mean, that's pretty much what we had to take from it. They had other
Yeah.
kids. So, yeah, that's the gist of it. They had other kids.
Nice.
And all right, moving on.
Heck yeah.
And yes, so they just came from Adam and Eve, and their names were not mentioned specifically in the Bible.
Next question. Who are the two witnesses mentioned in Revelations? I read an article that had a couple theories. I wanted to hear you guys' thoughts on who you think it is.
So in Revelation, there are going to be these two people that appear, who will begin to preach about God during the end times when the Antichrist is roaming around, and they'll actually be killed for their beliefs, but then they will be resurrected. So,
enough, we talked about this in the foundations class not too long ago.
that's
Cool.
true.
Cool timing.
So there's kind of a few different options. People think, based on the Bible saying man dies but once, sort of, that we get this idea. So really, it's either people have thought it's Moses and Enoch. Man, who was the other one? Elijah.
Yeah,
Moses and Elijah.
Yeah.
And then two other just believers that it hasn't mentioned so that's typically who people think it is.
It's pretty cool, man.
And that would be the prophet Elijah. But it's going to really happen. So, all right, number 3. Does the mark of the beast in Revelation say it's an actual physical mark? Thinking, what if the mark is a heart that refuses to love and a mind that is full of sin? What if it's us and how we react and treat people?
Now, this is one where I don't know if it's an actual physical mark. That I don't.
It is. So it's going to be an actual physical mark, and it's going to be a choice. So it will identify those who willfully and willingly choose to worship the Antichrist, Satan, essentially. You don't have to worry that you're going to be tricked into it. The Bible's pretty clear that you're going to know what you're choosing. Now, whether or not it's not going to be, I doubt he's going to call himself the Antichrist, but you will have to have this mark in order to shop and all those things. So whether it's a tattoo, whether it is a chip, but here's the thing: if it's a chip, it's going to be a chip that's willfully saying you worship this beast. It's not just going to be
It's not going to be
it's not going to be a trick. You can't be tricked into the mark of the beast.
Gotcha.
You'll be willfully choosing it.
Because I know in the past I've heard like people saying like chips and stuff. So
It could be a chip, but you're not going to be tricked into it.
Yep, it's just going to be right in your face.
It's going to be a choice. Do you worship Do you worship this person? If so, take this mark, right? Because it'll identify you as a faithful follower of this person.
That's wild.
So, no, I think it's pretty clear that the mark of the beast will be a physical mark.
Man, that's wild.
A physical thing that differentiates people. I mean, humans do that. We do it our entire life. It's going to be that way someone can quickly see, yep, you are a follower, you're not. Good question.
Yeah, man, I think it's interesting how they like try to go into it as far as like with like your heart, but I mean, I can see how that, because you wouldn't really be able to tell then. Like it makes sense for them to actually have a physical mark, because if anything, like that's also show like I don't know if arrogance is the right word in it, but like look at the people I've gotten marked, So.
Yeah, they'll choose it. You're up.
Did Eve have any daughters? And it says, I'm confused. Did Seth, Abel, and Cain have sex with Eve to populate the earth?
No, the idea is they would have had sex with their daughters, their sisters. Well, that's weird, Todd. Incest. Back then, the farther we get away from perfection, God loves us enough. Like the more messed up it is, right? And back then, that wasn't the case. So it is not Cain incest, because sin has corrupted the line so much now that it's not the case. So yeah, that is the concept. And perhaps even with each other's daughters, later on down the line. Yeah.
That makes sense.
What's the importance of the gifts given to Jesus as a child? Why was he given Why was he given gold, frankincense, and myrrh?
So, I actually did do a little research on this one, because I was like, listen, I want to make sure that I can answer this at least halfway decent. So, I looked into the whole gold, frankincense, and myrrh, and I landed on three. They symbolize three things, with gold being his kingship, frankincense a symbol of his priestly role, and myrrh being a prefiguring of his death and embalming.
Okay, but why is that? Is that because would people have known that back then? Were those related to those things? So gold clearly would be kingly, but like frankincense is known as a priestly type thing, like it was known back then?
I don't think so. I think that was more like, the gold, I think they used them as like, they were known as,
symbols of that. That's what I'm asking. So, but I'm saying, so the guy who gave frankincense, are you saying was frankincense, was it associated with priests in some capacity?
That I don't know.
Well, I'm assuming it was, if what you're telling me is the case. So
Yes,
Right.
that I'm not 100%.
So yes, so you're saying it had to do with his roles,
Yes,
or like what his role was to us.
I believe so.
Okay.
Yes. Now, and I saw.
And those were all expensive things too.
Yes, and I saw that some people also said, and this one's, I think this one might be reaching a little bit, but it's also like they mentioned how they were also just given these things to more of like an actual like literal sense of like, there was one like the frankincense has an active ingredient that can help relieve arthritis. I was like, huh. I was like, that's interesting. I mean, I don't know if that was the guy's actual intent, but maybe it was. Who knows? But it was just interesting. So
Yeah.
that's
Either
kinda what
way,
I
it
took.
was things of value that they
Yes.
were offering to him because they recognized he was special. Mm-hmm. So good stuff.
Nice.
Thanks, man.
Heck yeah.
All right, you're up.
What are your thoughts on the firmament? Do you think it's the sky or more of a glass dome above the sky before you reach the blackness of space? And then they added, the founder of NASA has Psalms 19:1 on his gravestone.
Anybody look that up? I assume you didn't have that pulled up. We better pull it up.
Let's see.
Psalm 19:1.
I believe it had something to do with like God's creation. Like he made the heavens.
The heavens declare the glory of God, and the sky proclaims the work of his hands. Pretty cool that he has that. The firmament. So what's the
Yes.
idea, guys? So there's an idea, call it a conspiracy theory, if you will. Firmament's mentioned in the Bible as sort of the thing that separates the heavens and the earth.
crazy.
There are those that believe that the firmament exists, and that's why everyone's heard like it was staged, the moon landing. Well, that's because we can't actually get to the moon because the firmament, like God has separated
It's in
it.
the way, right.
So kind of like a glass dome, for lack of a better word.
That's wild.
There's some interesting things, man, that kind of,
Do you think Stephen King got his idea of Under the Dome from the Bible?
I don't know, man. So, do you think it's the sky or more of a glass dome above the sky before you reach the blackness of space? I don't know. I think either way, it's the firmament is the idea of what, the place that separates the heavens and earth.
Very interesting.
I won't go into my personal beliefs. I don't know. I think there's everybody. I can already hear Tim now trying to like, oh, Todd's a crazy conspiracy man. No, I just think things are interesting, and I question. It's funny. I get mocked for this a lot. I question. All I'm saying is we believe a lot of things that we've been told without any proof other than someone giving us pictures or video that we never created ourselves. That's all I'm saying. I don't say I actually believe. And people mock me for that for some reason.
Right.
But anyway,
Open mind,
so
man.
check it out. Firmament's in the Bible. It's mentioned. It's just kind of like what separates, the heavens from the earth. Mm-hmm. We got a video here. They asked us to check out this video and give us our thoughts on it.
Yep. We'll go ahead and post the video for you guys to watch as well.
told my kids the other day, I said, let me explain something to y'all. If something happened to me and mama, I want you all to understand, y'all gonna be around the casket crying because I'm not leaving you everything. I'm just not. I'm gonna spend 85% of my income on me and your mama.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm gonna leave about 5-10%. That's it. The rest of the money, me and your mama going somewhere. We can't go on vacation. No, I want to be just with your mother.
It is not what you leave to them that makes them great. It's what you leave in them. If you leave more to them than you leave in them, they will run through everything you left to them.
Yeah.
But if you leave enough in them, you don't have to leave so much to them because they can go out there and make their own way in life.
Cool. I'm glad you said that, because now they ain't getting nothing.
Did you? Yeah, that was my question to you apparently. So.
I mean, my general thought, I think it's a good like way to like parent in a way. Like, I know for me, when I was growing up, I think my father, he had to work really hard for anything like he ever wanted. So like he used to tell me stories like, oh, like if there was a pair of shoes I wanted, like I had to go and get that money to go get them, or like his own car or that kind of thing. And I think what he did was he kind of did what they said not to do. Is I think in some ways he almost overcompensated, and anything I wanted, I got without having to really do anything for it, And so for me, I think that's a good teaching, because it teaches people to also just be responsible. Like give them a little and see what they and let them work with it. So yeah, I mean, I thought it was good teaching.
I didn't even view it as like raising children. Like I took what he said as what it was, inheritance. And honestly, I disagree with him. I think that doesn't have to be either or. The Bible talks about an inheritance. You know, that's part of what we leave to our children is an inheritance, both in kind of our, I don't know, our character and stuff, right? And a good name, but also like what we leave our children behind. And I don't think there's anything wrong with leaving an inheritance. I also don't like the idea. I think sometimes people try to make it seem like I don't want to sound, if I'm going to sound negative. I even feel like what, you know, Pastor Jakes there, that's who that was, TD Jakes. It kind of said a lot to me, you know, yeah, it sounds good, but it's sort of I guess it isn't obvious to everyone. Well, of course, it's not either or. It's not, if we leave them money when we die and they won't have character, or give them character and no money. Like you can, it's just like anything else. You can teach your children, and I think that's where your part plays in, is like teaching them as children so that when they get older, they learn the value of that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't think it has to be an extreme. And I think parents, they tend to go extreme. It's either, well, I'm going to give you nothing, or I'm going to give you everything. And it's like, listen, you can do both.
That's good.
And as far as an inheritance, you know, if I work hard and I, you know, have enough and I have money, or I were to get an inheritance from some relative, I'm certainly going to leave some for my children, all of it. You know, yeah, I'm going to donate and all those things, but absolutely I'm going to take care of my children. Why would I not allow the hard work that I did in my life? Now, that doesn't mean I would, if I had, especially as an adult, if my children grew up and they were not responsible, or they were wasteful people, or troublemakers, or lazy, then yeah, I'm not going to. Maybe they make their way. But if they've worked hard and they work hard, why would I not try to give them a leg up?
Yeah, why not reward that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not even about making them earn it. I'm just saying it's more of, it's kind of it's sort of on me to a degree to help teach them that stuff. Yes, a parent can be a great parent, teach all the right lessons, and their kids still choose wrong.
That's true.
I just think it's not as simple as, it doesn't have to be like, give them nothing. Like I guess, I don't know. It actually kind of made me sad that everybody's clapping about that.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything wrong with enjoying what he said as far as enjoying his life. And the analogy got a little weird to me. It started with him, when I'm dying, you're going to be sad too. Me and your mom are going on vacation. I thought you were dead in this scenario. Are we talking about in life that you sometimes want to go and like...
Steve was kind of all over the place a little bit. I would agree with that.
I think if you're saying like, hey, man, I'm not giving all my kids my money now, I'm going to take care of me and my wife, that makes perfect sense. But if you're dead, you're not going on vacation. You know?
Right.
I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think you're right, man. I think, especially...
But you make a good point about raising kids to appreciate and value work and money and all that,
dude,
because that's going to take care of it all.
It is so important in my eyes, because like I just know myself and what I struggle with as an adult now. Like it is important, and like
you can spoil a kid for sure.
Yes, and I like what you said, man, because I think you're right. Like it doesn't have to be one extreme or the other.
Yeah.
There is a fine balance between those two, and I think that is the key. And I think one thing I'm realizing more and more in life is that's kind of how everything is, too. Like that is life. Life is just trying to find that balance between the extremes, because man, it's just never good to go one way or the other.
Yeah, and that's good, man. And I just think, you know, God gives me an inheritance. My inheritance is the kingdom, and I get to be with my Father. And it's like, it kind of, I don't know, it just seems kind of cruel to not. Now, again, if your kids are punks and all that, and they, you know, yeah. But anyway, and certainly, I'm not him. I'm not a multimillionaire.
Right.
But if Steve Harvey raised his kids right, you know, I don't know. Speaking of, I think his daughter is dating Michael B. Jordan, the actor.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
Did not know that.
I know that to be true. Anyway,
all
Nick,
right.
you're up. Last question.
I've got one more here. It says, so I just finished episode 148, which is Lore Masters Galaxy, where you guys talk about the theologians and space and all that jazz. If there is life on other planets, do you think they'd have their own Bible, still given by our God, but their own thing?
I don't know. Maybe.
Interesting question.
Maybe.
I don't know. I would imagine I don't know.
Could be. Yeah. I'm sure he would have talked to them. He wouldn't just abandon them. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Huh.
Good. That's a great thought.
It is interesting thought. Because I was thinking about like how like, you know, like we're like chosen, we are his chosen people. It makes me wonder if like that is not limited to just here. I don't know.
You don't know? I don't know. Yeah, and it wouldn't. Like I said, we talked about this a few episodes ago. It wouldn't change my view of God. Like you know,
either.
I know what He told us.
That's right.
Funtern, what are we looking on time here? 30 seconds later, still taking time. I'll buy time here. You can speak to us and say, "Let me take a gander" or anything like that. Like,
We're looking at around 50 minutes, I think.
all right,
50.
I'm good with ending it. How about you guys?
Okay.
You got anything to say? Good sir.
Let's see. Listen, guys. Keep battling with us. All right. Keep sharing. Keep commenting. You know,
So sorry, guys.
it's been up and down the roller coaster of you know, the Facebook train. So listen, if you are watching from Facebook, please give us a like and a share. Leave a little blurb at the top as to why you're watching it. If you are watching from YouTube, if you haven't subscribed already, hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you can get notified every time we post. If you're watching from Rumble, go ahead and give us a Rumble. Hashtag Rumble Jumble. Love you guys.
Funtern.
If you're listening on Spotify, you already know the deal. Come on down and give us a review. A 5-star review would be greatly appreciated, and also some great just. What's your favorite sandwich? Favorite sandwich. I want to know your favorite sandwich, or whatever else. Your favorite color.
Man, I love sandwiches.
Everything like that. Because you don't have to leave a super long, heartfelt review, but if you do, we greatly appreciate it. We do get to see those, and we thank you for all the ones that you have sent. If you didn't like the show, we ask you not to leave a review, and if you want to talk about it, argue, have a discussion, we're more than happy to have that. If you want to just burn everything to the ground, it was nice seeing you. But we don't think this is the show for you. Goodbye. Have a great life. You're awesome. I really hope you find Jesus. Or if you do know Jesus, why you not like us? Why are you angry? Why you want to burn everything to the ground? Please stop biting me. It's weird. Anyways, have a great day.
Off the rails, man. We've been
Yeah,
off
it
the
was
rails
nice.
today. No, all of us. I love it. Hey, love you guys. Hope you have a great day, and truly, God bless you.